You've just stepped into the only place where Hornets sting, Panthers growl, and 49ers try not to blow a fourth quarter lead. Welcome to the Buzz and Roar Show, hosted by a guy who loves sports named Ethan. We're talking Queen City sports with just the right amount of bias and way too much caffeine. Let's get it going.
Hey guys, I've never actually done this before, delaying the actual video to say something real quick, but I was testing out a new setting on my mic and didn't think to test it out beforehand, so it sounds like really terrible today. Like, if you have headphones on, beware for your ears. Every time I say a P or a B, it sounds like an earthquake. So just ignore it. Go Panthers, Hornets, keep pounding, Buzz City rules, and see you next week for another episode of the Buzz and Roar Show.
It has been 3 weeks. Okay, I have posted interviews and stuff like that, but it has been 3 weeks since an actual podcast episode, and we are here for episode 27, baby. Panthers free agency is going well, isn't it? Welcome to the Buzz and Roar Show. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, capital B, Buzz, capital A, and capital R, Roar, capital S Show. If you're watching on YouTube, follow the show on Spotify. Both are linked in the channel bio or the description of this episode. If you'd like to get involved with the show or sponsorship requests, send me an email at all lowercase EthanTheBroadcaster at gmail.com, EthanTheBroadcaster at GMAIL.com. If you'd like to get involved, oh wait, I just read that. Or click the email page in my YouTube channel, main description. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. And also, of course, follow the Instagram. All lowercase, Buzz and Roar Show is the handle for updates, clips, and more stuff like that. I update all the time on the Instagram stories and stuff like that. So, with that out of the way, subscribe for more. And I'm just going to jump right into it because we've got a fun episode planned for us today. Kickoff here on the Buzz and Roar Show.
Let's dive into the show with a game to start us off. It's kickoff time here on the Buzz and Roar Show. Who's ready? I know I am.
Alrighty, baby. Okay, so let me pull it up. Hey, little teaser. I'm bringing back the game. The games for kickoffs, okay? I haven't done it in a while, so I thought might as well do it today, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and just real quick. We're doing NFL sports still. That's what we're doing for the game on kickoff today. Hold on, let me bang. Alright. So let's start off with, of course, the best quarterback to ever exist. Bryce Young. Okay, United States of America. He's higher than 24. Okay, and he is none of the other stuff. Huh. It's not even... Okay, so it's an AFC... Let's just... Oh, wait, no, it's not going to be... Let's go Bradley Chubb. Because he's AFC... Okay, so it is AFC. It's AFC East, and it's United States, less than 29, more... Height, 6'4". Okay. Perfect. AFC East. What teams are in the AFC East? Help me out here. No, you guys can't help me out. What am I saying? AFC East. Jets, Bills, Patriots. Let's just go with the Pats. Let's go. Oh, but it can be an offensive player. It just couldn't be a quarterback. Let's go. What's his face? Romeo Dubes. Dubs. I'm stupid. Is he a Packer in this? He is a Packer in this. He's not a Packer. Oh, he just got signed. Oh, let's go Hunter Henry, my bad. Wait, did I get any of the other ones? Real quick, Hunter Henry. Did I get any of the other ones? Okay, so it's more than 25, less than 29. So he is kind of young, in his prime-ish. And he is not a tight end. And he is not Hunter Henry. He is not a Patriot. Let's go to the Bills. Is it a Bill? This is a weird team if it's the Jets. Who even watches the Jets? Do I have any Jets fans out there? Probably not. If I've got Jets fans, then you might as well just leave. I ain't going to talk about the Jets. Don't leave, please. James Cook. Let's go with James Cook. The third. It is the Bills. It's not a running back. Okay, I'm not even looking at the numbers. It's less. Okay, more than 2, less than 9. So it's, and more than 4. So more than 4, less than 9. So it's a really low number. And he's kind of young. If you're 6'4", you've got to be like O-lineman maybe? What's his weight? It's all more than that. So if it's more than 268 pounds, it's got to be an offensive or defensive lineman. Let's test this out, and let's just go Dion Dawkins. See if it's an offensive tackle, maybe? It is not. Oh, man, 6 out of 10. Division unlocked. I've already got the division. What do you mean? I've got the division. Yes is the answer. I don't care. Oh, I'm going to get Clue for the headshot. Okay. All right. 4 more guesses. I'm trying to hurry up here. We got a lot to talk about. The Panthers and the Hornets. Mostly the Panthers. I'm doing a lot of free agency and mock draft stuff today. His number is kind of like really low. It could be number 8. It could be number 8. So could it be? No, it could not, because he is a linebacker. So it's not a linebacker. I'm in a standstill right now. Like a huge standstill. It's not a wide receiver. I've guessed every single position. Let's just go with let's just keep guessing to try and find the position, then go from there. Let's go Ed Oliver. Is it a defensive lineman? No, it's not. So it's not a defensive lineman. It's not an offensive lineman. It's not a running back. It's not a tight end. It's not a wide receiver. It's not a linebacker. It's not a quarterback. Wait, do I have the headshot yet? 1 guess away. Alright. If you know it from just this, then I'm kind of shocked. Oh, he is 28. He's 28 years old. He is 28 years old. Alert, alert. He is 28 years old. And his number's less than 9 and more than 4. I mean, can't be him. Ooh. Can't be DJ. It can't be wide receiver because it's not wide receiver, right? Is Ray Davis 28? No, he's 26. Oh my gosh. I'm actually stuck right now. Like, I genuinely don't know. I feel like this is going to be something simple. 26. I've already guessed him. He's 29. I mean, is it a special teams player maybe? Could it, like, let's just guess Tyler Bass and see if it's a punter or something stupid like that. It's not. Okay. What's the headshot? No, it doesn't. Okay, hold on. I got you. Hold up. I got you. Okay, well, okay. He's number 55. It can't be number 55. Let's guess him anyways. Michael. Correct. Bang. Guess. It was Michael. Okay, but I'm so confused even more now. Because, okay, I gotta get to the segment part of this episode. I understand that. But I'm actually kind of like in shock right now because look at this. Hold on. If it's more than 2 and less than 9, then it's gotta be between 2 and 9. Am I not wrong? Honestly, whatever at this point. I'm lucky I got Michael hooked. I'm probably not even saying that right. Whatever. Go Panthers. I don't really care about the Bills anyways. The Bills are terrible. Bryce Young is way better than Josh Allen. Let's be real here. Bills fans, I think you can even admit that actually. And let's just go. On to the next segment. Let's go on to the first segment of the day. I'm kind of disappointed because I will admit I may or may not have cheated. Alright, let's go to paint the picture, daggone it.
Welcome to Paint the Picture, the segment where Ethan goes full Bob Ross mode and calmly paints the path forward. Ethan breaks down what needs to happen over the coming weeks for one Charlotte team that's on the brink and maps out exactly what went wrong and how they can still make the playoffs.
So that last part about like how they can still make the playoffs, that's not actually going to be what I'm talking about. But I am painting the picture, so I decided to still call it this segment. I'm painting the picture because I wanted to do like a kind of off-season overview for the Panthers. By the way, I'm trying to get somebody on who actually like does a lot of Panthers stuff to like talk about the Panthers on the show with me. So we'll see if he comes on probably next week or so. However, I cannot reveal his name, of course, because he might not even be coming on. However, paint the picture. I just want to talk about, like who could the Panthers draft and, like stuff like that. First of all, I do want to start with there's been a lot of Curtis Samuel rumors. Okay. Tons upon tons of Curtis Samuel rumors. And let me put it this way. If we got Curtis Samuel, I would go nuts. I would say Dan Morgan is the greatest general manager in the history of the National Football League, getting Jalen Phillips, Curtis Samuel, and Devin Lloyd, and that left tackle, I always forget his name, all in one offseason. Okay, so, I mean, if he does that, it would be outrageous, okay, and I think anyone can really admit that. It would. And for the record, we have the cap for it, okay, and a reuniting with Curtis Samuel, I mean, I would love that. I would love to say that Curtis Samuel used to be a Panther and he lived through the Cam Newton and Kyle Allen and P.J. Walker era, and now he gets to live through the Bryce Young era, okay? And so, like, I mean, in general, I mean, I just want to put it out there. This Dan Morgan would be insane to even do that. But not in a bad way. Like, once again, I would love Curtis Samuel. I'm just saying Dan Morgan would be, like, crazy good to even be able to get Dan Morgan. I mean, Dan Morgan would be crazy to get Dan Morgan. Dan Morgan would be crazy to get Curtis Samuel is what I meant. And so, I mean, this team is at a point at this point where we should have about a top 15 defense with Devin Lloyd and Jalen Phillips. We should have, I mean, if we can, get a Kenyon Sadiq in the draft or really in general just get a solid tight end. And that's where I want to go next. Even if we don't get Curtis Samuel, of course, and that's another thing with Curtis Samuel. If we got Curtis Samuel, the reason why I like it so much is because Curtis Samuel kind of plays a little bit like Tedero McMillan, or like Xavier Legette. They're agile, they're fast, and they go grab that ball. Okay, like if you throw it up to them, the defender ain't catching that. It's gonna be them catching it. Okay, if it's accurate, they're at least gonna make an effort. Okay, and so I mean, he would be the perfect mentor for especially T-Mac. Okay, but not only that, if we got him and then drafted Kenyon Sadiq, I mean, honest to goodness gracious, it would be something that the Panthers, like, of course, we had the best draft in the NFL last year, and we know that because we got Rookie of the Year. But the question is, can we do that again, get one of the best drafts this year in Kenyon Sadiq, have 3 solid tight ends, because people are hating on Tommy Tremble, and they've been hating on him my whole life that he's been a Panther. But Tommy Tremble is solid, okay? Tommy Tremble is someone who, he is going to be our tight end 1. He's still got a couple years left, though, because he was never really like the guy who's just going to be like a 1-year starting tight end. But right now, in this moment in time, I have all the trust in the world in Tommy Tremble. Okay? He's kind of getting in his prime-ish area. And Tommy Tremble, alongside James Mitchell, alongside Kenyon Sadiq, with Tedero McMillan, Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, Jimmy Horn Jr. at wide receivers, and our offensive line being pretty buffed, as long as we can get a center maybe in the draft, or maybe with the little bit of time we have in free agency left. I mean, we should have a solid offense as well. Okay, so we've got a really stinking good defense, and I stand by that. I personally, I think that even, listen, I actually was talking about Ajay Rivera right after the season ended. And Ajay Rivera, he is not a bad defensive coordinator. It's kind of hard to be a defensive coordinator, especially late in the games where everybody criticized him. Okay, everybody criticized him late in the games. It's hard to be a defensive coordinator late in games with no pass rush. Okay, no pass rush at all. I mean, he had like rookie practice squad players just about all year on the pass rush. But now we've got Jalen Phillips at linebacker. We've got Devin Lloyd rushing. And we finally got a defense that looks just, I mean, pretty daggone solid. Okay? And so I think that's definitely going to amp up his defense, but not only amp up his defense, it's going to give him another year to really prove himself as a DC. And I've always been an Ajay Rivera lover, okay? Like, for example, people last year when it was late in the Rams game and the wild card game. I mean, I don't mean to bring this back again, but like the Rams wild card game, bringing that back, last drive of the game when Matthew Stafford drove down and scored 6, people were like, oh, Ajiro, why did you have, like, all your corners, like, as far back as they could possibly be? The Rams got easy checkdowns that led to, like, 5, 10, 15-yard gains. I thought about it. I know exactly why he did it. J.C. Horn went out earlier on in that game. And yes, you can trust Mike Jackson, but our other corners in that situation were rookie or practice squad players who had never experienced playoff time. And so they're not going to be able to press up against Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Okay? The only 2 players on that cornerback line that is going to be able to do that is, of course, J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson. But without J.C. Horn, you have 1 corner, and the Rams have 2 really good wide receivers. Okay? If J.C. Horn was out there, I can almost guarantee he would not have let up like as many yards per play as he did. Ajiro Rivera would not have backed off as much as he did. Okay? He wouldn't have played that far spread coverage as much as he did. Okay? But here's the thing. I love Ajiro Rivera, and I do think that he is going to be our defensive coordinator for the next couple of years. And I think that honestly, our whole coaching staff, I don't think we're going to see another fired coach for a long time, okay? Because I think we're just in a position where if we can keep our coaching staff, that's the best possible move. Now, I am talking about the offseason, though. I kind of like branched off for a second. Who do I draft? I just want to really quickly talk about that. At first, I was saying, okay, and y'all can quote me on this. At first, I said, okay, you wait at that 19 spot until Sadiq gets drafted, right? Probably top 15, top 10 maybe. And then after Sadiq gets drafted, you try your very stinking hardest to trade up for Kenyon Sadiq. But since Kenyon Sadiq is definitely going to be drafted ahead of the 19th spot, you didn't want to trade ahead to like 10th and then Kenyon Sadiq get picked at 9 and then you traded up for no reason. But my point here is that who I would draft, that was my initial thought process. You wait till Sadiq gets drafted, then trade as much up for Sadiq as you can. Like your first, second, third maybe, all just for Sadiq. However, now that we have gotten Devin Lloyd and Jalen Phillips, I thought of this draft a whole heck of a lot differently, okay? Because if we go out there and draft a linebacker, I mean, I won't be that disappointed, but I'll be a little bit disappointed because tight end is honestly our biggest need right now, okay? Our actual biggest need is, I would say, is center because we lost Cade Mays. However, I don't see us drafting a center in the first round. I don't think a center usually gets drafted in the first round unless you will guarantee a starting spot. Like, that's how good you actually are. We're drafting a center for sure, and it's going to be a good one, but it's not going to be drafted in the first round. So who would I draft? I would definitely go after Kenyon Sadiq. If he's still on the board, you pick him up. Then second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh rounds, you go out there, get a center, maybe even a backup left tackle. Just build up on that O-line in the second and third round. Then the rest of the draft you build up on defense. Maybe get a backup QB, but you did just pick up Kenny Pickett. Okay? That guy from Arkansas. I actually really liked him. Okay? I really liked him. That's who I kind of wanted as our backup. But then we got Kenny Pickett, and now I'm kind of like, okay, well, Kenny Pickett's actually, pretty daggone good. And so in general, I do think that this, this team is in a good spot. This team is in the best possible spot to succeed. And I just want to give, like I talked about it on a YouTube short. No, it was an Instagram reel. Go follow, promotions. I talked about the other day on that Instagram reel. I said, Dan Morgan, give yourself the biggest pat on the back in the world because I've never heard the Panthers get talked about this highly. Okay, our record prediction before free agency started was 6.5 over-under wins. I don't even know what it's at now. I think they're still saying 6.5, but I've never heard the amount of high-end NFL analysts that have been like, who has the greatest free agency? Then the second they hear that question of who has had the greatest free agency so far, they said the Panthers. Okay, the other day, okay, I was watching SportsCenter, and they would not stop talking about the Panthers. Okay, they talked about that Curtis Samuel thing. And then the next segment, they talked about how good of a GM Dan Morgan has been. Then the next segment, they talked about Bryce Young or something like that. And then they just went off and off and off about the Panthers. I mean, it was kind of unreal how much they talked about the Panthers. Okay, and so I am thrilled, excited, nervous at the same time for this upcoming season. Of course, we've still got a long ways to go. But I'm also really excited for the NFL draft, okay? And also, yes, last year I did a mock draft. This year I'm doing another one. Don't even worry. Of course I'm doing another mock draft. I mean, like, what else could I do, okay? I wonder who I picked. I can't even, man, you know what? Comment down, if you were still watching this video, I want you guys to comment down below. Would you guys like to see me go way back in time to my initial mock draft from last year, July, and would you like to react to the entire video on camera and talk about how bad or good the draft picks were, or just react to it? Because that would be fun. That would be a really fun video. That would be because I already reacted to it, but I didn't actually watch the video back to see what I said. That would be a really fun video. Anyways, let's go to the next segment to talk about some Charlotte Hornets. Then, for the first time in a while, I've actually got some overtime segment. Maybe something to do with March Madness. We'll see. Let's go to crunch time here on the Buzz and Roar Show.
Let's finish it off with a look at this week's numbers and stats for what Ethan calls crunch time.
All right, so crunch time here on the Buzz and Roar Show. I'm actually very excited for this one. Of course, I was very excited for the Panthers one. I'm going to try and do really short segments for the next couple. I just want to talk about something. The Hornets have been, I don't want to say lackluster, but I also kind of want to say lackluster lately. Of course, they did just play the Spurs 115-102, but that's what kind of where I want to start. That Spurs game, I understand we were playing the second best team in the West, but it was unacceptable. Okay, I mean, I actually told my dad and brother while we were watching it, I told them, I don't remember the last time I have seen that much of a lackluster performance. Okay, there was so many rebounds by Luke and Moose that we should have grabbed, and we didn't. And you can argue that they have 2 7-footers on your team, but we had it in our hands, then just got it knocked away. Okay, you're playing in the National Basketball Association. Okay, you have to be able to actually fight for the ball. Okay, and so I mean that's number one. Lackluster performance for the Spurs. Okay, lackluster performance when the Hornets played the Spurs the other day. But also, Khan got cold. LaMelo, I mean, and it almost, like I talked about last week, it almost kind of seemed once again like we all were just kind of playing like we weren't playing the number 1 team in the NBA, or number 3 or 4 team in the NBA. Okay, it's almost like we took a stupid shot, they got the rebound, went down, dunked on Luke Cockbanner. They went down, shot a 3, swished it. And like I said last week, it almost is a continuation of what we've been looking like. We almost looked like our old selves. We almost looked like our lackluster old selves where LaMelo Ball was the only one doing anything. Okay, Brandon Miller even wasn't even that hot that game. Okay, I mean, really, LaMelo Ball wasn't even doing too terribly much. I mean, the only three people doing much was LaMelo Ball, Con Knippel, Miles Bridges, and then Kobe White had 18 points. But I mean, it's just everything that game just went wrong. It just went downhill. Okay. So we play the Heat today, finally back at home. I would like to get back on track because we have, I'm not even kidding, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight home games. Okay. And then we play kind of a bunch of road games to end the year. And we've got the toughest schedule in the NBA, okay, just about, to finish the year off. Okay. So, I mean, that's kind of all I need to talk about for the Hornets. I just kind of wanted to throw it out there. Like, I don't know what Charles Lee has to do to fix this. But, I mean, if you guys were watching it, I think you guys can agree with me too. It was just not a good performance all around from absolutely anybody. Okay? And so, in general, definitely not what we wanted to see. With a loss against the Spurs. Wanted to go into San Antonio and try and just steal a dub. But once again, we play the Heat, then the Magic, then the Grizzlies, then the Kings. I'm not going to say that's 4 straight wins, but to me it sounds like 4 straight wins. My only concern is that the Heat are really hot right now. Like, really, really hot right now. And so, yeah, that's basically all I got to say for that. Now let's really quickly go into... Finally, I don't remember the last time I've had an overtime segment. We're going into overtime here in the Buzz and Roar Show.
This is Overtime, where we go beyond Charlotte, bring in special guests, and finish the show off strong.
Overtime here on the Buzz and Roar Show. I just kind of, like I said, I kind of hinted at it earlier. I wanted to talk about March Madness real quick. It ain't gonna talk long. I'm not going to waste anybody's time here. Anybody who does not watch college basketball, if you do not watch college basketball, you are an absolute idiot, and you should leave my channel right now. I'm joking. Come back. But I filled out a bracket. In fact, I filled out 25 brackets. We're not going to talk about that. But I wanted to talk about it. I personally do have Purdue going to the championship and winning it all. Okay? Of course, some of my friends are watching this and they're like, no, you have Houston. In the one that I made first, the one that I'm most confident about, I have Purdue. Okay? And here's the other thing. Okay? That I wanted to quickly say. St. John's is really hot right now. St. John's is really hot. And if you look, I think they beat Northern Iowa. Okay. Wait, wrong way. Then they beat Kansas. I think that's going to be a close game, but I think they do end up beating Kansas. But then here's where it gets a little bit tricky. And people would say this isn't that tricky, but I think it is pretty tricky. You've got St. John's against Duke. And anybody who was staring at my screen right there may be going like, what? Because yes, I have Duke losing to St. John's in the Sweet 16, the upset of the century. Okay? And the reason is this. Duke is, okay, I'm not like just basing this off of the ACC tournament, but Duke almost lost to Virginia, almost lost to a team who I'm pretty sure has a losing record, Florida State. And you can argue that, they're missing their 2 of their starting 5, but it's still March Madness, and you still have to play good. Okay, so I don't care who you're missing. If you're missing anybody, that's just going to affect your play. And then cool, like, you lose? Oh, and I guess that's just going to be how it goes. Because, I mean, genuinely, this team is just such in a weird spot right now. It's in such a weird spot right now because it's almost like how, like,
of course, I'm a Tar Heels fan. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. But, like, they're so injured. They're so injured. If Malik Brown ends up coming back, let's put it that way. If Malik Brown ends up coming back, I would expect probably a win from Duke, but I'm still not writing off St. John's. And once again, the reason why is not just because I hate Duke, okay? It is genuinely because I think St. John's has a chance to go on a miracle run. And by the way, I do have them losing in the Elite Eight. But, like, here's another thing. I understand UConn is not its normal self, but it's also a 29-5 UConn with arguably the best coach in college basketball right now, going up against Rick Pitino and St. John's. And St. John's beat UConn by 20. Okay? Like, by 5 or 10, I would say it's just, like, no big deal. UConn probably just didn't show up that game. You know what I'm saying? But no. 20 on the dot. 20. Okay? And so, UConn losing by that much, I think they're going to get eliminated early. I also do truly think that St. John's is about to shock everybody. Everybody's brackets are about to get busted because of St. John's University. Believe me or not, trust me. Just trust me. I have an odd feeling, including my brackets, some of my brackets, I think everybody's bracket in the world is about to get busted because of St. John's University. Anyways, that is all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out on the Buzz and Roar Show. If you want more sports stuff from Charlotte to anywhere else that throws a ball, check out my YouTube channel, capital B Buzz, capital A and capital R Roar, capital S Show. And if you're already watching this on YouTube, welcome. You're in the right place. If you're listening somewhere else like Spotify or Instagram, go and subscribe on YouTube too. It's like the same thing, but with more visuals and less background noise. And once again, hit follow on Instagram as well, all lowercase Buzz and Roar Show. Hit subscribe so you don't miss out. Or don't. I'm not your boss. See you guys next time. A little bit of a long episode today. I haven't done one of these in a while. But see you guys next time on the Buzz and Roar Show.
Thanks for listening to Buzz and Roar. We talk about sports, all kinds of sports. If you like the show, hit subscribe or follow. We'll be back soon with more stuff to share. Thanks again, and see you next time.